Hi, my name is Kathleen Neary. I'm a volunteer with the Lancaster County Democratic Party. And I'm here today with Vince Powers, who currently serves as Nebraska's Democratic National Committeeman. And we're going to be discussing several topics, including the Nebraska presidential primary, as well as the upcoming 2008 presidential election. Vince, in your role as Democratic National Committeeman, what do you do?
Well, as a committeeman, I'm the liaison between the Nebraska State Democratic Party and the Democratic National Committee. In this country, there are two great political parties. There's the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. And the Republican Party is governed by the Republican National Committee. The Democratic Party is governed by the Democratic National Committee. In Nebraska, Kathleen of Omaha is the committee woman, and I'm the committee man. And we go to the meetings and act as a conduit for information and issues that might come up.
And during your term as National Committeeman, there's been a big change in Nebraska from the primary to the caucus. Can you just explain to the viewers what role you played, if any, in that change?
Well, I think that those of you who are watching are obviously very interested in politics, and you know that the Nebraska primary that happens every 4 years on both the Republican and the Democratic side is in May, and every 4 years it's over. Come May, the Republican candidate has been selected, the Democratic candidate has been selected. And so we thought it was important to move it up, and I wanted to have a caucus. We wanted to move the primary up, but the legislators did not want to. They did not want to have a primary while they're in session, understandable. So we moved to a caucus system where we didn't need any government. The state didn't have any control. We were doing it as a party. And originally we were going to do it, and we decided to do it on February 9th. There was a great debate about moving it to February 5th when so many states moved to February 5th for this giant national, almost a national primary date. But we decided to stay the party decided to stay on the 9th on a Saturday to give more people access. And the other very important thing that's confusing for some people is there still will be a primary. There's a primary in May that will decide issues such as every other office, from Senate, Congress, County Board, and all the other races. So the presidential candidates will still be on the ballot, most likely, but it'll be a beauty contest in the sense that it doesn't matter if one of you who are watching wants to participate in Nebraska and help select the next president, you have to go to the caucus on February 9th. You have to caucus. And you need to talk to the Nebraska Democratic Party at 402-434-2180. Or you can contact Lancaster County, and if you'd like to volunteer, 436-3030. Vic Kovalt has just done an exceptional job organizing Lancaster County.
Now, Vince, you've mentioned that the caucus is February 9th. Can we just go back to the basics of what the caucus is, how it's different from a primary? And then I'm going to have a few specific questions about the elimination of the secret ballot specifically when we implement the caucus system.
Right. The caucus, and most people are familiar with it through Iowa, but different counties will do it differently. In Douglas County, they're going to caucus by legislative district, so there'll be really about 9 large meeting rooms. Here in Lancaster County, probably the tradition of Lancaster County has it. The party here has been very active, and we have a number of great activists. And so we're trying to do it by precinct. There'll be some places where it might be 3 or 4 precincts, but what will happen will be if you're watching, you can volunteer your home, or you can call and find out in your precinct who will do it. There's what we would refer to as a precinct captain. So you would come into somebody's house or the school or the restaurant or wherever that space is, and at that point, as opposed to a primary, Kathleen, as you mentioned about a ballot, here you will stand, you will actually say, I'm for Hillary Clinton, I'm for Bill Richardson, I'm for Dennis Kucinich, I'm for John Edwards, I'm for Barack Obama, Biden, Joe Biden, Chris Dodd. And then you would separate yourself, and of course it's all designed on the idea that we have enough people participating, because you have to get at least 15% of your neighbors to join with you for your candidate. You have to reach that viability. And so an example would be that if you have 20 people, you need at least 3 people for a particular candidate. If you only have 2 people, then you will join with someone else. So what occurs is you would see, for example, I would suspect Joe Biden would not get a lot of support in Lancaster County. He might have a couple people, but his people would then go caucus with someone else. They'd be the second choice. And of course the dynamics, which we can talk about later, coming in February 9th, where it's really going to be either 1 person left or 2 persons or 3 at the very most. So, but that's the idea, that you have to say, here's who I'm for, here's why. And my bet would be, in the states that have done caucuses, Iowa primarily, people come who are uncommitted. You can come and say, you know, I really like Hillary Clinton, I really like John Edwards, I really like Barack Obama, I'm not sure. And then be a little politicking.